Hello, universe. Welcome to my world. We're still doing Angelina Jordan, but today we're going on a grand tour and we'll have to wait till the very, very end until we meet Angelina Jordan again. And today's grand tour, we are featuring the song Killing Me Softly with His Song, which has been a massive hit over two generations. First, in 1973, it exploded for Roberta Flack. It was an international hit. And then in 1996 for the Fugees, it was another absolutely massive hit. Let's hear directly from Roberta Flack as to how the song came to her.
Is a song that I feel was given to me as a gift because I didn't record it first. It was recorded first by someone else, written explicitly and especially for someone else, and recorded by this person, as I said. And I get on the plane and I open the brochure that describes what music you can select, and there's a song. The whole brochure said, "Killing Me Softly with His Song," and had a picture of this young girl. And I said, and I put it down, and then I went, "Killing Me Softly with His Song." Well, after about 3 or 4 times of checking this out, I thought, I have to listen to this. So I turned it on. And I listened to it about 5 times before the plane landed. When I got to New York, I called Quincy at his house and I said, listen, they wrote a song called Killing Me Softly. He said, and? I said, I want the song. He said, okay, I'll get in touch. And about 2 days later, I had the song.
And the young woman who actually wrote the song and was the original singer, her name was Lori Lieberman. She wrote the song in late 1971. She recorded on her album, released it as a single in 72, before Roberta Flack sang it in 1973. Let's hear the original version by Lori Lieberman, which is actually recorded in 1975.
I heard he sang a good song.
Actually, it would be better if we heard the song with Lori Lieberman commenting as we go along. Let's do that. I think that's much better. So let's first listen to the 1975.
I remember that this version was in London at the Old Grey Whistle Test, and I was happy to be in London because I was also visiting my father who lived there at the time. And Dick Horn is at the piano, and it has some really great memories for me.
I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. And so I came to see him to listen for a while. And there he was, this young boy, a stranger to my eyes, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. I felt all flushed with fever, embarrassed by the crowd. I felt he found my letters and read each one out loud. I prayed that he would finish, but he just kept right on, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song.
Isn't that interesting that that song was written without a bridge? It feels like it really did need a bridge. And to be honest, when we first worked on that song, it was at the time of Richard Harris's
MacArthur Park.
Arthur Park, and things were opening up more. And so when we wrote and worked on that song, it actually had a center part that opened up to a song of mine, of Charles Fox and Norman Gimbel's.
This is the first of several times that Laurie refers to Charles Fox and Norman Gimbel. They were her original team. Charles Fox wrote the music, and Norman Gimbel also contributed to the lyrics. But unfortunately and very sadly, over the years, they have denied any involvement by Laurie Lieberman in terms of contributing to the lyrics and the writing of the song.
Called Back to Before. And so with his song, and then it would go into this other beat and be a part of, take me back to before. And it was a different thing. And it had it opened up the song more. Somehow we felt that it needed it, but in the end we decided against it. So it's such a linear song.
He sang as if he knew me in all my dark despair, and then he looked right through me as if I wasn't there. But he was there, this stranger, singing clear and strong, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song.
A few things, actually. One, how robotic I find that performance.
Wow.
How I had sung it that way, and because my entire career at that point was to do things exactly as they were written and to speak only from a script. I was so not, I wish that I had been more flexible. I wish I had sung it different. I wish that I had not stayed with the melody as stringently as I did, especially when it keeps repeating itself. And now knowing what singers are doing with that song, I wish that I had loosened it up a bit, but in looking at it, I was just very, I could pretty much put that performance on top of another performance on top of another from that time, and they would almost be identical.
Yeah. Carbon copy.
Every nuance, every shading, everything was, very studied, and there was no room to change it.
Good point. That's really interesting.
I honestly, Alan, cannot believe that people love this song the way they do and that they keep going back to it, because I liked it, but I felt it was confining. And I think that had to do with who I was at that time, because after Roberta did it and her version and she opened it up, I went, oh, why didn't I do that?
Yeah. No, but so many songs. For example, Summertime, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of all different interpretations. And it's not a matter that one is right or one is wrong. It's a matter of style, and it's a matter of genre. It's just a matter of reinventions keep getting reinvented.
Yeah, that's so true. That's true.
And to your credit, the commentary for your video, some people say, of all the versions, I prefer Laurie's.
Oh, that's so interesting. I guess because it had a quality of a smaller folk song, and maybe they know the story behind it, and they know that it had some air of authenticity. Sometimes I do think in versions I heard after that the singer wasn't really in touch with the feeling that I had when I wrote the poem, that it became, strumming my pain with his fingers. And it's kind of a light thing, but for me, it was a very profoundly deep, dark, penetrating kind of a moment. So it was interesting.
And that's what comes across with your lyrics and your interpretation. I've heard other versions which are jolly, and it's not a jolly song.
It's not a jolly song.
It's
No,
not a jolly song.
which is, and I think that's probably because the melody is strong and people enjoy singing it. It's also an easy song to sing. I have to say, I think that's why singers like it so much. It feels good in the throat. It feels right.
Yeah.
The range is good. A lot of people.
There are many moments in that song where there are many tributaries you could take melodically.
Yeah, it's
and,
true.
It's like a very, very good poem. It's clear and it's simple, and every word is spot on accurate.
Yeah. Thank you. And Norman Gimbel, I worked on that with him, and he was a real master of lyrics.
Mm.
He had done some incredible things, Girl from Ipanema and things like that.
Yeah.
And he was very, he kind of taught me how to be economical. And that's what I found with this.
Well, we're all striving to be a perfectionist, but some of us are closer than others. We listened to the version from
2019.
Okay.
And it was November 2019. I'd love to.
I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. And so I came to see him, to listen for a while. And there he was, this young boy, a stranger to my eyes, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words.
That evening was very special to me. I had just brought the Matangi Quartet to New York to perform with me at Carnegie Hall. And they're just an amazing quartet from the Netherlands. I had, for the first time, performed it on the piano because I always played it on guitar. And for me, playing the piano, even though I've done it on my own, doing it on stage and having a full album of my featured piano with the Matangi Quartet, it was a really big deal because I had some anxiety actually about playing. You can hide a mistake on a guitar pretty well, but
okay.
I almost used to have a almost Shine moment. Remember that movie Shine, where there's a disconnect between your brain and your hands? And so playing piano for me I used to liken it to driving on a freeway, a little bit piano phobic. So it was a big triumph for me to be able to perform this on the piano. In addition, I, for the first time, arranged the strings and orchestrated the strings. So that was a big push. And this version to me is a very heartfelt, the way I always felt the song should be. This finally, even all these years later, at this age that I'm at now, I can access the feelings I had when I saw Don McLean at the Troubadour.
And Don McLean was her original inspiration. In late 1971, she went to his concert and heard his performance of Empty Chairs. And she immediately started taking notes on a napkin, which formed the origins of the song Killing Me Softly.
And I wrote the poem, all of the stuff that came after about that song. So it's
His words killing me softly with his song. I felt all flushed with fever, embarrassed by the crowd. I felt he found my letters and read each one out loud. I prayed that he would finish, but he just kept right on strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song.
You know, when I was sitting there at 19 years old, and I was in the back of the Troubadour when Don McLean was singing Empty Chairs, I really did feel exposed. I really felt like everyone was looking at me. And it did feel like he knew me. He understood what I was feeling. That song just it truly did penetrate my soul. I felt very, very uncomfortable. That moment was a very uncomfortable moment. And I think in listening to it now, that's what I'm trying to convey, actually, is how vulnerable I really did feel.
I actually prefer the more recent performance. I think your use of the R word, robotic, when referring to the 1975 is a really, really good juxtaposition between the two versions. And the difference of your voice and the modulation, I take my hat off you for someone shy to be in Carnegie Hall singing. You know, that's very much that's great. It's therapy by public trial.
My poor audience.
No, you're a lucky audience.
Thank
You're
you.
a lucky audience.
So the part that is coming up is a bit of the song where I know that I actually was crying during the singing of that. You know, this song has had, even though you and I discussed we didn't really want to go there, it's had a lot of controversy in it. My involvement with the song and how it was written, how it was performed, and how it was generated has been disputed. And my involvement has been, I've had to defend my involvement. Recently, there's a documentary being done on it, and I've been able to bring back people who were there. My friend who took me to the Troubadour to see Don McLean, who witnessed my writing of the poem. It has such a complicated story, this song, this beautiful little nugget, that the upcoming section, I on purpose wanted to push myself to show the emotion of what I feel about this song and how no matter who sings it, I do regard it as mine.
A couple of things I'd like to say, Laurie. One, you're too sensitive for all of this legal nonsense that everyone drags you through. It's not, you're not cut out for that. And secondly, where Roberta Flack does her very rich verbal chorus, You instead have arranged the strings to be pulling at the heartstrings. And I think that's a really, really good use of the orchestra at that moment.
As if he knew me in all my dark despair. And then he looked right through me as if I wasn't there. But he was there, the stranger, singing clear and strong, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song.
When we wrote the song, the melody was actually always that. It was killing me softly with his song. It was never with his song. And we changed it because at that time I couldn't access the higher note. So it was changed.
Well, well, well. What a song, what a life, what a career.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, it's as you said, you've created something that brings great joy to millions of people, and that will always be the case. It's great. Very, very few people can say that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, it's true. I'm only saying it because it's true.
I really appreciate that. I really do.
Okay.
They thought it was pretty. I don't think any of us, though, none of us really thought that it was going to go where it went. It was just a really lovely song at the end of an album.
Now, after all that excitement, it's a bit of a letdown to do anything else, but we have to still hear the Roberta Flack, we have to hear the Fugees, we have to hear Angelina Jordan. So let's go back to the 1960s. There were some very prominent and well-known artists who were very quick to cover this song as of the mid-1970s. First, we'll hear Johnny Mathis, who has a very smooth, silky sound and very distinctive. Following that, we'll hear Bobby Vinton, whose style was also very much in the 60s, well before the Beatles and Bob Dylan. And then we will hear a sample of the British Invasion with Petula Clark, the London-born singer.
Strumming my pain with her fingers, singing my life with her words, killing me softly with her song, killing me softly with her song, telling my whole life with her words, killing me softly with her song.
I heard her sing a good song. I heard he had a style, and so I came to see him release her for a while. And there he was, this young boy, a stranger to my eyes.
Also in the mid-70s, there was a new up-and-coming group with a young lad also taking on the song. Perhaps you've heard of him.
I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style, and so I came to see him listen for a while.
In the modern era, we have some very recent covers. There's a group out of California, Pomplamoose, which features a husband-wife duo of Natalie Dawn and Jack Conte. They do jazz funk versions, and they're very good. Pamplemousse, which I really like that group.
I do too. Oh,
Heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. And so I came to see him to listen for a while.
And then we have another very modern version by Elisini, which is only 2-3 years old. And this song is partially in English and partially in Spanish. It's much more of a hip-hop version, which is similar to the Fugees of 1996. The one I found on your Facebook page was Elisini.
yeah. She just, now she's got this huge hit with it again. It's crazy. On Instagram, it's just blowing up. And all of the kids in Puerto Rico, she also did a very cool thing. You know, she added a center rap. She calls it the urban version. And so she has this whole Puerto Rican, you know, rap right in the middle of it that was never used before, was never part of a song. I actually sang the song in Spanish, but she didn't use any of that.
Wow.
And it's much better. It's hers is.
No, I mean hers is in the tradition of the Fugees, much more than any other version. But you know, fair dues. You know, it's
starts it in a beautiful way. Have you noticed? She starts it as a cappella, a very slow start, and then it kicks into a beat. So there's a part of me that thinks it wasn't exactly Roberta's version either. She made it her own, and I thought it was beautiful.
yeah. I was very impressed with that
Yeah.
too.
Strumming my pain with his fingers. Ooh, y lléname de tu amor. Mátame muy suavemente con tus palabras, rozando muy lentamente.
The Fugees version from 1996 is next, and it's considered one of the best all-time hip-hop records. And if anything, it was even more popular than Roberta Flack's 1973 version.
I think, as I said, when the Fugees recorded it, they didn't realize up to that point that this song could go into somewhat different generations and different styles, and I do believe it. You know, I think other people are going to record this song and do something else with it. Her version's amazing. And I love how it's gone from the little gem of a song to a bigger experience.
I felt all flushed with fever, embarrassed by the crowd. I felt he found my letters and read each one out loud. I prayed that he would finish, but he just kept right on, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words.
With Roberta Flack, we've gone for a live version, and her live version is also very, very true to her recording. It shows you her raw talent. This record in 1973 won the Grammy for Best Record and also for the Best Female Recording.
It was just a simple folk song. It was mainly guitar based with some piano flourishes. And it had strings. It had a male vocal as a harmony. The most amazing part of this song, I think, is that when I recorded it, it had a backbeat. So it was strumming my pain with his fingers. It was that. And I think the reason that it became so popular after Roberta did it is that I really think it was the first time that anyone had put a ballad like that into a two-feel. So it wasn't the backbeat, it was strumming my pain with his fingers. And then when she added that chorus element to it, the whoa, she made it a whole different experience that I don't think anyone had heard. My version was starting to climb up the charts when Roberta heard it, so I think a lot of people did respond to it. But I can't say that any of my friends said, oh my God, that's the song, that's the hit song. First time.
With his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. He was strumming my pain, yeah, he was singing my life, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song.
Now, finally, we reach Angelina Jordan. Here, she's just walking down the street, singing unaccompanied. Angelina Jordan specializes in covers.
Oh, I know. Can you tell me a little bit about her?
Yeah, she's 15 years old. She won Norway's Got Talent when she was 7. She's moved to LA to further her career. She did Bohemian Rhapsody on AGT 18 months ago, which was phenomenal if you haven't seen it. And she did a cover of Screaming Jay Hawkins' 1956 version of I Put a Spell on You, which do you know these versions?
No.
Something else I need to send you.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we could and should do another video where I'm showing you these and you can interrupt me and you can stop me. That would be very interesting. That would be very interesting, actually. Yeah, it's amazing. I've done 40 videos only about her, and everything she touches, 90% is better than the original.
Wow.
And at the age of 7, she did, on Norway's Got Talent, she did Billie Holiday's Gloomy Sunday. And you can almost say it's better than the original at the age of 7.
God.
I know. It defies a belief in but if you were happy, I would be happy to look through some of her catalog with you. That would be a great privilege for me to do that, Laurie, because I would get your insight and feedback and musicianship, and we could either do it after I send you the link, or we could do it raw, where you know nothing about it.
Okay. Raw.
You're on. You are on.
Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. I heard he sang a good song, I heard he had a style, and so I came to see him and listen for a while. And there it was, this young boy a stranger to my eyes.
Now, some of you may prefer Roberta Flack. Some of you may prefer the Fugees version. Others may even prefer Lori Lieberman. And it's also all right if you prefer Angelina Jordan. It's just a matter of preference. It's not a matter of who's better or not.
You are just enthralled with her work. Is that why you have done 40 videos with her?
I think enthralled is a good word, but also, let me explain it to you like this. Many, many people hear her and cry. And they don't cry once or twice, they cry every time. And this is a phenomena many people experience and no one understands it. And I fall into that category as well. And that is one of the things, for me, it's like a theological mystery. No one can explain it.
Wow, interesting.
And what is she doing? I mean, you have vocal coaches making commentary. Oh, well, she's opening her larynx and she's doing this and she's doing that. But that's not explaining the emotional impact.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. Do you have any upcoming projects or concerts or tours?
So all of my things, of course, as we mentioned, were canceled last year, but I have some upcoming things, but in April of 2022. I hope that, they'll work out. Beginning with, I returned to the Troubadour where it all started for me.
Wow.
So I'm going to be there April 14th, 2022. It's in LA. And then another, more concerts upcoming in the Netherlands. Hopefully, I'm just organizing it now, and a new album coming out. And that I'm starting to write, and also thinking about some covers that I want to do too in my own way. Some songs that I've always really loved. And so kind of working on that.
Yeah. And let's hear some final words from Lori Lieberman about what it's like to be a young girl in the music business. Maybe these words have some universal truths to them. If you had a time machine and you went back in time to your young self, what advice would you give yourself?
I would tell myself to believe in myself, to stand up for myself, that if I felt it in my gut, it's because something was going on, and to defend myself better. Also, I would tell myself, it's not that serious. Have a better time. Have a good time. And enjoy this moment. Enjoy this moment instead of internalizing these wonderful highs that I was able to receive at an earlier age. And I reacted with fear and anxiety and panic. I had tremendous panic attacks. And I wish I could just tell my younger self that it was all going to be okay, that I was safe, and to move forward with joy instead of with fear, and to not let anyone bully me. I would have said all those things to my younger self. I don't know if my younger self would have heard.
Well, that's a different issue. That's a completely different issue. Okay, gang, we've done the grand tour today. We will continue to run and run with Angelina Jordan, and I'll catch you later.